thinking actually, as we begin this week, what is it? It's a bird, Bec.
It's a big bird. Look at it. It's got a really
Jesus Christ. Right, I'm going to paint a picture in a few moments' time, and I was just about to get onto that and talk about the beautiful surroundings we're broadcasting from this week on Chasing 40. But as I was about to get into it, Bec just jumped up as if she'd seen a ghost. Ugh. You probably heard it in the background. Do you think it was that beastie?
I thought it was the beastie that's living in my... Look at it. It's weird.
Bec, it's a bird.
It's not. Why is it? Look, don't go anywhere near it. Come back. Stop it. It's gone. Phew.
It's gone.
I'm not good outdoors. I don't like birds. I'm scared of them. Birds and butterflies and moths.
Shall we start this introduction again then?
Please.
Welcome to this week's Chasing 40. Really, to be honest, we should have done a sort of horror-themed episode because this is number 13.
Oh, yeah, it is, isn't it?
I should put some echo on my voice there for that one, shouldn't I? Let's try that one again. Number 13. But that'd be cheesy, wouldn't it? So let's not do that. But it is episode 13 of Chasing 40, and we did say when we began this that we were going to have a couple of themed episodes. The drinking episode, I get asked about that quite a bit. Potentially, that could be happening next week, and we could have someone joining us on that episode. So episode 40 next week could be an interesting one, kids. So make sure you're back with us for that one. But we did say we were going to have some themed episodes, and this week is the first time we've actually broadcast Chasing 40 out of the bitch cave, as you call it.
Into the gardens.
Yeah, we're in between Bec's delightful bushes, which she is aching to actually tell us all about and describe. Yeah, we're actually broadcasting from the garden of the bitch cave this week on Chasing 40, and it is a lovely, beautiful, sunny Saturday morning. I know with podcasts, the beauty of them, you can listen anywhere and everywhere, so potentially there could be someone listening in deepest, darkest Peru right now, and it's peeing down with rain. But as we speak, and if you check out at Chasing_40, you'll see the pictures of what we're seeing. We're in the lovely grounds of Bec's place. We've got some lovely greenery. We've got something that's just dropped from a tree. Was that a person? No.
No, I think it was just a leaf.
It was a heavy leaf. And we've got lots of lovely flowers and nature surrounding us. So it's the nature episode of Chasing 40.
I like the way you said it was in my grounds. It makes me sound like I live in a castle.
Yeah, but you do. You live in a really... Bec's got a really a nice pad here. Is it like a townhouse, the best way to describe it, where you live in?
Yeah, if anyone knows, it's actually the full side of so it's like a big Georgian street with beautiful big houses. And
for anyone who now wants to stalk her, you clearly now know where she lives.
I didn't think of that.
Should we beep that bit out?
Yes.
Okay, so you've just heard a beep then, and now we're explaining it. Tell us about, because I'm a bit confused by this. I thought they were giant nettles, but the holly bushes are.
The holly bushes. So the one that's behind me has berries on it, and that means it's a girl bush.
Yeah.
And the one that's behind you, I have found out, must be a boy bush because the girl bush has berries.
Yeah.
And lady bushes only get berries on them if there's a boy nearby.
And it's cross-pollination you were explaining to me.
Yeah.
Because there's a concrete path. I was saying, how did he get it on to make the berries? But you fully explained
it. Like they were going to mate.
Well, that's what happens, isn't it, with flowers? Like everyone else.
Little bees do it.
Who's the nettle bush getting it on with then?
The nettle bush, I don't know where that's come from. It's just sprouted, but it's got a life of its own.
We won't put a picture of that on at Chasing_40. What we'll do is we'll have the beautiful surroundings there. So what we're trying to explain as we begin this week's podcast is, if you're listening to us and you can hear lots of noises in the background, which I think sounds quite delightful. It's the wind blowing, the soft wind. We've got the birds singing or attacking Bec, as she claimed at the start. And you might get the odd bus driving past as well, because there is a road over there.
Yeah.
So if you're there, that's what's going on. Is this the scene of the crime, by the way, from the infamous flashing incident? The great flashing incident of 2018 or 2018.
17.
It's because I'm going to talk about something next year in a minute. Because Bec was telling me that she's flashed her neighbours a couple of times this week. I thought when you mentioned that to me, it was because you're having some blind problems in your bedroom.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that. It's out here. I can't imagine there many people wandering around your grounds though. Lady Bec.
You don't see that many, waifs and strays hanging around. But sod's law is the one day that you decide that you want to wear the thing that's on the radiator in your living room. So you leg it in from the bathroom, completely stalkers is the one day your neighbour's going to put some stuff in the bin and decides to stand and have a talk with his other neighbour right outside your patio doors.
How? Just go back through it in slow motion. Then was it a quick? Did they look up? Did they stop and stare, or did they just look and look away and you ran away?
They must have just seen like a flash as I darted through. I was taking.
Oh, she's a little pervert.
I just nipped to it, and I didn't really look outside to have a look and see if there was anyone, because like I said, there's no one kicking about here, and people passing in cars can't see it because they're behind the big walls of my castle, behind the moat. So I just kind of legged it, and then as I grabbed something off the radiator, so I'm kind of on one leg doing like a pirouette, leaning over the telly to get something off the radiator behind, so things are hanging clearly. I just looked outside, and the neighbour and his mate were stood outside, and you just freeze.
Have you seen them since?
No. Purposely.
I wonder which one they live in, because there's quite a few flats here. And
this one.
It's that one there.
Yeah, like literally right next door. The one that I share my front door with.
So potentially right now he could be. In fact,
He's
I'm
out.
guessing there's quite. Oh, is he definitely out?
Yes.
But I'm guessing there's quite a few people in the other flats who are thinking, what are those noises outside in the garden? Who are listening right now. I don't think we're that late out here at the moment. As we record, it's 5 to 8.
That's all right, isn't it?
5 to 8 on a Saturday morning. Everyone should be up by now. But the poor fella, he must have, did you say so? He looked like he'd had a heart attack when he saw you?
Yeah, he pretty much looked like he was about to pass out.
Hey, talking of heart attacks, I nearly had one this week when I got an email with regards to, and I haven't mentioned this on the podcast so far. In fact, and it's not because I've chosen not to, I've just totally forgotten about it, and that was why I nearly had a heart attack when I saw the email. I entered the ballot for the London Marathon for next year.
Really?
Rather foolishly.
Why would you do that? You're drunk?
I'm quite... No, I wasn't actually.
That makes it worse.
No, I was a little bit hungover. I'd been out the night before, and I'd seen the previous weeks a lot of friends, and my dad has run it loads of times as well, the London Marathon, so it was something I always said I'd do when I was a kid, but I'd seen a lot of friends and colleagues do it recently, and I thought, you know what, I quite fancy the challenge, and I was lying there in bed feeling a little bit crappy after a night out, and I thought, I'm going to sort this out. The hangovers are coming to an end. It's time to do something real. I'm going to enter the London Marathon ballot. So I entered it, and you don't find out. Well, I thought you didn't find out until October, but which is still the case. This email was a bit of a red herring, what I received. But I'd sort of forgotten about it, if you know what I mean. Once I'd done it, after a couple of days of, I could do that, it just went to the back of my mind. So anyway, I get this email, which just said, great, you've entered the ballot for the 2018 Virgin Money London Marathon. I thought, oh my God, they brought it forward, they put me in it. Because as soon as if I do become successful in getting in there, I get that email or that notification, shit gets real. That's my year finished, Bec.
Totally.
Because you can't, for the London Marathon, you can't just train for like a couple of weeks beforehand.
It's not like doing the 5K around Beckenham Park, is it?
No, I was chatting to people who ran it, and obviously my dad as well, and he was saying, you're looking at like a good 6 or 7 month commitment to this. Jeez. You're going to have to build your way up to where you run a marathon. He said for his training he didn't actually run a marathon beforehand, but he was doing his 10Ks, his half marathons, and then he got up to about 22 miles himself in the mornings. So shit is about to get real if I do get into that. So it means now I'm starting to think I need to cram potentially my whole year into about 7-8 months. Because once that notification comes through, successful or not, if it is successful, that's it, I'm finished.
So do we need to have like Christmas in August or something?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm going to have to do everything. I'm going to have to start this weekend, I think.
I'll have to have my 40th early.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't miss it in January.
Makes a mockery of our podcast, doesn't it? Because we were due to get up to the 40. Episode 40 is due to land round about January. I've got it scheduled, which is your birthday is in January, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, great. I've ruined everything here, haven't I?
Destroyed it.
I've ruined my social life. I've ruined the show plan.
Yourself.
Lumberneck.
Good on you, though. I hope you do get in. I'll come down and watch you.
Well, if not, you can watch me live on TV, streamed all around the world.
Are you going to do it in fancy dress?
No, you're joking, aren't you? I don't get those idiots who do it and like...
Be a banana. Be the quickest banana.
And why would you do that? It's hard enough running 26 miles. Apparently, like, this year, didn't someone run with like a fridge? I mean, obviously it wasn't a real fridge, but it was like, the costume was like a massive fridge, or like there was someone had like a washing machine on the back as well. Why would you do that?
No idea.
26 miles is hard enough without... It's like the guy who dresses as the rhino every year. Sure, he raises like... You'd raise loads of money anyway, regardless of the rhino costume, but hey, it's all for a good cause, isn't it? And the thing is, if I do it, as much of a pain as it will be, it's the sort of realisation of a bit of a childhood dream, because watching my dad as a kid, I always said, I'm going to do that. I'm going to follow in your footsteps, Dad, and I'll have a medal like you saying I've run the London Marathon. So that part would be quite nice, and to get him to come down and see me. But saying that when I was 11, 12, I'm going to run that, Dad, to now being, and at the time of the 2018 London Marathon, I'll be 37. It's a big fucking difference, man.
Do you not mean 27?
Oh, sorry. No, 26. 26, yes. Got to get that corrected. I have actually been, this week, I had to write a biog. I'm making a bit of a radio comeback. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. And one of the things on there was about, what questions and what we put into our biog. And someone asked, do we put our age on there? And I thought, I'm going to have to put the showbiz age on, aren't I? I tell you what, guys, for now, we'll leave the ages off.
Yeah.
While I come up with a workaround.
Age is just a number. No one needs to know.
But the showbiz age is 26. The real age, sadly, when it comes to London Marathon time, will be 37. But talking of childhood dreams, next week I'm going to be realising a childhood dream. And I wanted to talk about things you wanted to do as a kid on this week's podcast. Thought we'd only do about 5 minutes on it. Then you sent me a message with all the things you wanted to do as a kid. And I thought, you know what? Not only should we talk about this, I may invite a psychologist to come in and have a chat with you. Was Pig Farmer on that list?
Yes.
Save that for a few moments time. But I'm actually going to be doing two things this week. Realising a childhood dream, and also becoming what's commonly known in the business as a full kit wanker.
Oh, what?
Have you seen that thing on Twitter, the trend full kit wanker?
No.
Basically, it's grown men who walk around in football kits.
But the full thing?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not... I've explained this to people who are like, are you sure? I'm going, no, I don't care what you say. You can call me what you want, but this is the childhood dream, and I need to be in the right uniform
When
for
you say
this.
walking around, what, like going shopping in town?
No, I'm actually going to be playing at Goodison Park, so the home of Everton. So I'm going to be on the pitch kicking a football around in my football boots. So I'm going to be playing at some charity thing. But the thing is because obviously I'm a massive Everton fan and that's my dream. I've been on the pitch before and I've done many things at the club, but being able to run around and kick a ball on there, I need for my this is the world we live in these days. For a good profile photo for say Facebook and Twitter, I need to be in the full kit.
Oh my!
So it looks like I'm playing for Everton.
You're gonna get someone to Photoshop yourself into it. Proper squad.
No, I'm gonna get someone to be photoing me, videoing me. I want action shots of me running around that pitch.
Oh, why is it just you?
No, it's not just me. There's going to be other people there, but no one else is going to be in a full kit. They're all going to be in. I think there's going to be I don't know if there's like a bib system for how we identify us as teams, or there's a shirt that we'd be wearing. But I told my mate this. He was like, "You're joking, aren't you?" And I went, "No, I'm not. I am very, very serious about this."
God, the shame.
So the thing is with that full kit wanker thing though, it's people in everyday life, like at the bus stop wearing full kits, or going on nights out wearing full kits, so like shoes, going out shoes with a full kit. So I'm not doing that. I've actually got real justification for doing it.
I lost a bet once and I had to go to a networking event in a full Liverpool kit.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was the worst kind of full kit wanker ever. It was the most horrific morning of my life.
So was it just for the morning you had to wear it?
Yeah.
That's not too bad really. I suppose if you had to then
Liverpool.
Go out. Yeah. I'm trying to be impartial here.
I'm Newcastle, so you're all weighted down here.
Especially considering that in the next couple of weeks. In fact, actually, this coming week, I will be back on the radio in Liverpool, so I don't want to stop peeing off the other half, do I? Oh, I'll tell you what, we touched on it last week on the show, that I'd been working on a project and I was crying. A few people were sending me the old, violins out for you, having to work 16 hours a day, boo-hoo. But I've been involved in a project last few weeks, and you know all about it. Radio station which is launched in Liverpool on DAB online, and you'll find out, if you go on my Twitter feed, you'll find out all the details. I don't want to sort of blur the lines and cross over and talk about that loads on here, because we're all about the old guys, not the young stuff. So check out at 29 Nolan, or if you look in the description of wherever you're listening right now, you'll be able to find out the details. But new radio station in Liverpool which is launched, and I'm going to be back on air and involved in the programme of that, so that's quite cool. But I thought this could only happen to me. So this year we have this conversation where we launched the show Chasing 40, and it is all about our journey as we head towards the age of 40. So basically it's me and Bec every single week. If you've been with us on board from the start, you'll know what we're like. If you're new this week, go back and listen to previous episodes on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, and you'll basically hear, well, more so from me, someone struggling to find their role in society as they hurtle towards the age of 40 with technology advances and music. So only me could be involved in the launch of a project which celebrates heading towards the age of 40 and end up on a station that plays dance music.
I have to say it's dead funny because you're looking at the playlist and going, who were there? We were listening to it the other week and you're like going, who's this? And I knew them. It makes me I feel dead down with the kids.
I bought a list over to the flats to Bec and said, right, and I've done this with a few people. I have no idea what any of these are. Is this good? Who is this? What is this? So yeah, but the good thing is and before I get the undoubted barrage of tweets and messages that will call me an effing hypocrite, right? The station target audience is, hang on, I don't even know what it is. Is it?
Is it 15 to 45?
15 to 45, yeah. You know more about this than me. So technically, I've got 5 more years of that, right? If I stay on there for 5 years, I'm all right.
Yeah.
But then you can call me a hypocrite after that if I stay on there. So yeah, if you want more news on that, if you want some details on that, you can check it out right now on my Twitter feed at 29Nolan. Did you have a list when you were a kid of things that you set out to do, what you wanted to be?
What I wanted to be, yeah, it probably changed every week, but I didn't have kind of big goals and things. I've never wanted to run the marathon. Even in my sporty youth where I was chucking shot puts, it was never something where I was like, oh, I'm going to go to the Olympics with this. I didn't have any kind of massive achievements, apart from marrying Matt Goss, which still hasn't happened.
When is that Bros concert, by the way?
August.
Oh yeah, so that's not too far away.
Yeah.
There's another thing to add to my credibility stakes that I'm still going with you.
That's my chance to get him, to nabble him in a corner.
I think your best shot at that was when you met him that time.
I know.
And then it would have been the opportunity to get a hold of him and maybe kidnap him, which you might have had to do.
Rude.
No, let's be honest about it.
We look like a lovely couple in the photograph I've got.
What a great Saturday morning this is, insulting your co-host. I'm trying to think of a way to wear my way out of this one now.
Don't bother, because you're going to make it worse.
No, basically, Matt, anyway, you know what, I don't know what I'm talking about. I think what I was trying to explain would have been the follow-up meeting where you missed him, if you remember. Because you met him, didn't you? And then he came in again, and you weren't there, but he left you the records.
He did and told me that. He missed me.
Yeah, and there you go. So there was obviously, he remembered you. There might have been some feelings that he was having then. It is Matt, isn't it?
It is Matt.
It's how bad my memory is. You've only just told me that and I've forgotten. So maybe your chance may have gone. But I don't know, you could take one of them. Like at Bruce Springsteen concerts, people take signs, don't
Marry
they,
me, Matt.
of songs to play and suggestions. Yeah, marry me, Matt. Sure, no one else will have that idea, but one last shot at glory, third time lucky.
You're coming with us, so you'll be able to hold it up and help us.
So other than marrying Matt Goss, what was the other stuff?
It was jobs, really. We touched on this last week when we were stuck back in the 90s, didn't we? There was none of this modern day technology. You let your imagination go wild. So I had all kinds of job dreams and hopes. I wanted to be a hairdresser for a while. I wanted to be a graphic designer for a while. I don't know why. I didn't even know what one of them was. I did a work placement at an interior design company.
Yeah.
And they kept me on for a second week and offered me a job when I left school and then to do like day release to college. And I turned it down stupidly because as interior designers, you're responsible for what it looks like. And we went out on site to this nightclub in Durham and they wouldn't let me paint a wall. So I threw a strop that I wasn't allowed to paint and said I didn't want to be an interior designer anymore, which is their second office was Dubai.
You know what though, don't feel too bad about that because I had an opportunity to go and work in Dubai and I always think about this. To this day it still pops into my mind because the offer was very, very good. It was tax-free accommodation, 2 free flights back to the UK every single year as well as your holidays as well, so you could have your additional ones. And I turned that down, right? I remember the guy going, you're insane. Living in Dubai, earning a lot of money tax-free, down for the 2 reasons being I had another job offer which I'd said I've already sort of committed and said that I'm going to get involved, and that was in Burnley, and the other reason was because I didn't want to miss going to watch Everton play. He's going to every one of the games on the telly over here.
You earning that much money, you could have flown back.
I know. So don't feel too bad about that. When I turned Dubai down for Burnley and Everton, look how well that worked out.
It does make me feel slightly better.
So those are the aspirations, those are the things you want to do, and then obviously you ended up working in the world of radio.
Yeah, possibly the weirdest ones though was I wanted to be a pig farmer for a little while.
Well, this is the thing. I've got my phone up when I've sent you the message. This was the question: what did you want to be as a kid? What was the dream? So Bec, explain what you've just said then. You did work experience as an interior designer when I was 15. Offered me a job after school. I said no because they wouldn't let me paint a wall. I also wanted to be a radio presenter. Me and my mate had a station in my bedroom. I'll tell you that story tomorrow. But then you followed up with the message saying, I wanted to also be a pig farmer and a fish farmer. Is that true?
Well, I didn't want to be a fish farmer. I wanted to be a pig farmer. It was like this weird Sunday morning game I used to play with my brothers. Well, like, my dad was out at work, my mum's, tidying up, doing the housewifey stuff and making dinners and stuff. So I went to entertain the kids. So, hello, aeroplane. Yeah. So we used to just like make up games, and one of them, I was a farmer, and my brothers would just go around on their hands and knees being a pig. I don't even, stop looking at me like that. Is that not what everyone did?
Right, let's just to recap then. So, and by the way, I'm right in thinking off the back of these games, that's where you thought you had a good grasp of pig farming. Yes. And I want to be a pig farmer. So you used to have your brothers walking around on all fours pretending to be pigs, and you were the farmer. Wasn't that a Burt Reynolds movie? Deliverance? Oh no, sorry. That's another squealing like a pig type scenario, isn't it?
Yeah, it was all very... Sunday mornings in our household were very bizarre. We didn't have computers or games or anything.
On God's day as well.
But the fish farm, I didn't actually want to be a fish farmer.
Oh,
that
right.
was a career. I went to a careers advisor. And we had to fill this like questionnaire thing in called Kudos. It was basically like about 300 questions.
Yeah.
It was the crappiest way ever of deciding what you should be when you grow up. And I don't know what the hell I answered on these 300 questions, but the two jobs that came up was a librarian. Can you imagine me with my gob show?
Oh, God.
Or a fish farmer. So I have no idea what I answered to these guys. I obviously like fish and read books or something. I don't know.
Was there a fish-based section?
It must have been.
So where did you end up, out of interest, where did they end up sending you for your work experience?
I went to the interior designers, but I sorted that off my own back.
Okay. Politely declined the fish. So I bet there was some poor sod in your school who got... Because that's what happens to the kids who've got no ambition, really, and I've got no direction, I've got no... where they want to go. They get shoved off somewhere really crap, don't they?
Yeah.
So some poor effer will have ended up in a fish farm for 2 weeks.
Sucker!
I thought you said they were really interested in fish farming. Look, there was someone who was a perfect fit, but she had to drop out. She had something else. But Terry's all right to do it. He likes fishes, don't you, Terry? I hate fishes. Shut up, Terry. Get in the door.
Oh, but the radio station one, that was class. That was when I think I was like the end of primary school. Me and my best friend, Claire, who still talks to him. Hello, Claire. We made a little bedroom radio station because I had like this record player and it had a cassette player built into it so you could record and plug microphones in.
Yeah.
So it was BBC Radio Newcastle, which totally was a rip-off of a BBC Radio Newcastle. We sung our own jingles.
Well, were they the same as the ones on BBC Radio Newcastle by any chance?
Newcastle. Yeah, pretty much. And I was called Mrs. Goss. And she was called Mrs. Knight, Jordan Knight, New Kids on the Block.
Oh, right, okay.
And all we played was Bros and New Kids on the Block. It was a very niche radio station. And literally we'd be like, hello, this is BBC Radio Newcastle. I'm Mrs. Goss and I'm Mrs. Knight. Next up's a song by my husband. But first up, there's a song by my husband who's clearly much better than yours.
Yeah.
When will I?
Oh, hanging tough.
Kitty.
Is it a cat? I told you it'd be a good idea to come outside and do the show. This week's Chasing 40 with our nature surroundings. We've had a plane interrupt us so far. We've had several buses drive past. We've been attacked by a bird and now here's a black cat.
Or a panther.
Yeah, that is a big cat, that, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Psst. Come here, Sheba. Don't look at me like that. I'm an animal lover. With a death stare then, that black cat. When I was at... I'm trying to think back to... For my work experience, luckily, I ended up at a radio station. But my whole childhood dream of what I wanted to be was I was going to be a rock star and play for Everton. Yeah. I was going to be the first person to actually no, Chris Waddle did it, didn't he? Rock star football. It had already been done at that point. Little did I realise, if only I'd have heard Diamond Lights at a young age.
Hotly followed by Gaza and Fog on the Tyne.
But that was what all I wanted to do. And I remember when it got to I can't remember if we filled out a form. I know there was definitely like a conversation. It will have been, I'm sure there will have been a form, but you know what my memory's like? It's like a sieve, it just drops out unless it's some random fact about 80s pop music. So I remember going in for the meeting with the careers advisor. It was a guy called Mr. Major. And
really?
Didn't have grey hair or glasses. It wasn't that one. And he said to me, right, okay, so we've gone through everything and we've looked at your stuff and what you want to do. And one thing I do remember writing when it was, what do you want to do for your work experience? I just said, send me to Radio City, which was the big radio station in Liverpool at the time. Oh, hello, Mr. Motorbike. I think we've done all the vehicles now, haven't we? Anything got a speedboat? Is there any lakes anywhere?
Just round the moat.
So I remember just writing that at the bottom, and he said to me, look, okay, well, we've looked over everything, and that was it as well. I think I put something about NASA being an astronaut, taking the piss.
Class.
So he said, well, obviously that we can't do that. The Radio City thing, I don't think we can do either, but we've been looking over your grades and your performance and where you're up to right now, and I'm thinking, because this is his job to suggest people, because they're only a year away from leaving and going into society, I'm thinking maybe something in the retail world would be good for you. So I'm like, oh yeah, go on, what's that? Try to send me to Iceland.
No.
Not the country, the fucking frozen food store.
Well, you know.
I was going, no bloody way I'm going there. So that was where I sort of kicked into action, and I ended up getting myself a placement at a local radio station, and that's where it all began for me. And all these years on, here I am still in front of a microphone. But a couple of my mates, like probably would have happened to you, they got shoved into Iceland because they went in there and went, okay, I'll do the retail thing. They bit on that little nugget of information from Major. So what a life that would have been then, Beck, if you think about it. You could have been a pig farming hairdresser who flirted as a fish farmer, did a bit of interior design in and out of the office in Dubai, and also had a podcast and did the radio stuff.
See? What a life I could have led.
It'd have been a great autobiography. Certainly better than mine. I went to careers advisor, I asked for NASA and Radio City, ended up at a community station, still in front of a microphone now. The end. But at least now, the thing is like I say with the childhood dreams, I have my little list of things I wanted to do. I've sort of been a rock star. Sort of.
You've released a couple of CDs.
I've released two charity Christmas singles. If you can class them as songs. I've done the radio thing, because that was on my list. And now I'm going to play at Goodison. So quite clearly I can die now. There's nothing left, is there?
Do you know what though? You're saying that you didn't want to go to Iceland, but you can have a lot of fun in retail. I worked in a coat shop. Yeah. Again, it was in the Metro Centre after I got sacked from Quasar for, beating up the kids, which we touched on last week.
Yeah, see last week's episode.
I got a job in it was like a really cheap clothes shop, and I don't know how it came to be. Well, I do, because we were just having a laugh all the time. But I think it was Christmas Eve, and there was 3 of us working. Me, there was Catherine, and there was Glenn. And for some reason, we decided we'd all take a bottle of Taboo into work with us, and drink it from. I know, don't stop judging. So Taboo was the drink of choice back then.
No, it's just the fact that you're taking it into your work, and
it was Christmas Eve.
Oh,
we
want
to have a bit of a party. So we're all drinking Taboo out of our mugs. Got a little bit merry, and decided a really good idea would be to super glue our thumbs together. So in a line, there was Catherine on one end, me, and then Glenn. And in a line, we super glued our thumbs together. So we thought it would be fun, particularly when it came to serving people. So Catherine was working the till, Glenn was unwrapping, and I was in the middle I had no control over where my thumbs were going.
What's that film where they all get sewn together? Is it the Human Centipede?
It wasn't quite like that.
You were a pioneer.
It was just our thumbs.
Maybe someone come in that coat shop and went, maybe we'll just add the sickness levels up by 10. I've got something here.
Yeah, so you can have a lot of fun in retail. It's what you make of it.
You should have been sacked for that. Going in, drinking Taboo and gluing your hands together while you should have been working.
I think a lot of people nicked coats that day as well because we were that hammered.
Talking to someone who should be sacked, hopefully actually at some point this week, while you listen to this podcast, maybe Donald Trump's been impeached. Have you seen all the stuff with him this week?
Yeah. I've not seen you tweeting him as much though.
No, I've left him alone
too busy,
this week.
You?
I think that the world's media are having a good go at him.
Because I got a couple of people following you just because I was like, talking about you trolling them. And then I actually had a message off one of them, Gary, the other day saying, is your mate still trolling? Because I've not seen much. I was like,
Sorry, Gary.
You're letting everyone down here.
I saw another great thing for Donald Trump this week as well. It was about, this is the man who wrote a book, wasn't it, called The Art of the Deal, and he constantly goes on about how he's going to make America great again and get the best deal for America, and he's going to negotiate all these jobs back. Keeps taking credit for negotiating all these jobs back, even though majority of them were arranged by Obama before he actually arrived. But it was a story in the New York Post. Let me just find it. I think it was the magazine. Yeah, former NBC boss Jeff Zucker was talking to the New Yorker magazine recently about the self-proclaimed master of the deal, Donald Trump. He was talking about negotiations for arranging a fee for the second season of The Apprentice. So yeah, the New Yorker magazine, I think it's the New York Post or New York Times. It's one of the ones that you get a freebie with that. Trump apparently came in and said, so second series, it's gone really well. Look, Mr. Zucker, I want $1 million per episode. Zucker offered him 60 grand. Trump accepted. What a master. Yeah, what a master negotiator that is. Jeff, I want $1 million. 60 grand deal. For all listeners in the States, he's making you great again. It's a cheesy thumbs up. Hey, talking of just recapping, because I know once again we're running out of time here. That fidget spinner thing, by the way, last week I was a bit sceptical when you first mentioned to me about wanting to talk about it. Yeah, I have seen that everywhere this week. I don't know whether or not people had them. I just didn't know what they were, so I didn't think to question it. But loads of people that I know walking around with them. I even saw that guy, what you were talking about. What's his name? Geek Bite, yeah. He was on Sky News talking about it.
Isn't he attractive?
Didn't do anything for me, to be honest. No Michael Bolton. I didn't sense a soulful voice when he was talking about the fidget spinner thing.
No, he's just very good with his hands.
But yeah, it's absolutely everywhere. Did you say one of the national newspapers as well in the UK were giving away a free fidget spinner?
Yeah, I think they've jumped on our bandwagon, because I've seen a lot more this last week. So I think everyone in the world's basically listened to our podcast and gone out and got one.
I noticed as well, there was some of the fidget spinners that I've seen. Is yours the top of the range one?
Oh, yes.
Yours is quite heavy.
Yeah.
Well, some guy I know had one in his hand. So let me take a look at that. And it was a little flimsy plastic thing.
Yeah, they're the ones that have been given away free. But yeah, they're the more... They're the cheap. I think they're about £1.
Look at us, eh?
Mine was a £5.
Fidget spinner snobs. Anyway, remember, if you are new to Chasing 40, you can check out all our previous episodes online right now. Quite a few new subscribers on iTunes, YouTube and SoundCloud this week, so welcome aboard. If you want to check out the previous back episodes, you can do very, very easy on iTunes. You can leave us a 5-star review on there. Just search Chasing 40. You'll find us in the iTunes store, and it's dead simple. If you subscribe, by the way, it'll download all the future episodes, but you can get them just at a little click right into your phone, into your iPad, into your whatever device, your iPods, whatever you listen to. I can't keep up. I need to start getting up with technology, especially if I'm going to be talking to the kids on a radio station trying to be cool again.
But you're not going to be cool doing that thing with your arms and your shoulders.
They can't see that.
I can.
I'm going to live a double life. On Chasing 40, I'm going to be the normal, miserable me. On the radio, I'm going to be Captain fucking Cool. Actually, no. Captain Charisma, that's my new name.
Oh, get off. Leave now. You're not welcome back in these grounds.
Anyway, so yeah, you can check us out. All the previous episodes on iTunes now. If you go on YouTube as well, Channel 29, all the previous episodes are on there. You can subscribe there, leave us a comment. And again, on SoundCloud. Have yourself a great week. We will catch up with you next week for episode... Actually, remember, we might have a guest, mightn't we?
We might well have a guest.
Next week, potentially, could be the drinking episode. Yes. Don't want to miss it. See you next week.